Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, four crazy rescue dogs, rescue cat, and two rescue guinea pigs who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school to learn ASL, and is trying to train for Iron Man. And if you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message. It boosts my self-esteem and my serotonin, and I could use that. And if you're returning, you already know the crazy you're in for. You already know. So grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. So it is October 29th. I am gearing up for a extremely busy week. I will tell you that today I slept in past 9 o'clock in the morning. Went to bed early last night. I was in bed and asleep before 10, which is like unheard of for me, or right around 10. Slept until darn near 10 o'clock this morning. hmm Went out to lunch, did a little bit around the house and stuff. Came home for lunch, and I took like a 2.5, 3 hour nap. And I'm going to tell you that when I'm done with this, I'm probably going to go to bed. Tomorrow, I have to take a client to Social Security and try and straighten out two messes there. Then I have to run Bean to class, come back, run my friend's mom and son to a doctor's appointment. Completely opposite directions. Then I have to come drop them off, grab Elmo because his mom can't get into Elmo. It's too hard for her. So I'm going to take his car. So then I'll drop them off, grab Elmo, come back, grab the boy, and grab dinner for everybody, and then go out to campus where I will be interpreting. And in between there, I need to get some paperwork done. Uh-huh. Guess what's probably not going to get stitched on tomorrow? That would be the Monopoly board. This last week was crazy, busy. I had my last Sunday night class now, although she's going to start up another session starting in 3 weeks, and I'm going to sign up there. And I'm going to ask Bina if she wants to join us. I have gotten a lot out of them, and I really and truly enjoy them. And so that's all that's needed for that. I'm short a couple flosses. I did start a new. I have lots to share with you. So last week was jam-packed busy. Tomorrow, while I'm on the road and while people are in meetings, I have to call like several places. Um, I have to turn in some paperwork by tomorrow night, and I may call and see if I can't get a couple day extension because there's only so much I can do. The other thing that last week I started, and I really am enjoying it, although sometimes it's a little difficult because like some of my patterns, I'm still working off of paper patterns, and I hate counting stitches. So the only time I tell you guys for sure, like with ease, when I'm counting stitches, and I can tell you like percentages, the only reason I can do that is because of Pattern Keeper. So yeah. Oh, by the way, last Monday was my birthday, so thank you for everybody who wished me well wishes. I did not, I'm sorry, I'm peeling the label off my notebook. I don't know why I have to do this now. You can all thank ADHD. So last Monday was my birthday, which was fun. I took cupcakes to Bella's class because I was supposed to be interpreting. There was some confusion. I didn't end up interpreting. Whatever. I took cupcakes. It was fun. It was fun. And then this Friday is the twins' birthday. My baby's turned 23, which is crazy. Crazy. Crazy to think that I have 23-year-old children. Or adults. I guess technically they're adults. So, I got some birthday haul. And my buddy in my class, she's so sweet. I have some of the best, most amazing friends, even if they don't give me stuff. Like I don't anticipate like I don't ever count on anybody giving me anything, so like don't misunderstand that. But like Jasmine shows up to class on Wednesday for me with a jar of pickles, like little cocktail dills. They're so yummy. I like ate a bowl full the other day for dinner. Don't judge me. It was dinner, completely girl dinner, because I ate cocktail dill pickles, and potato chips. hmm That was my dinner. Does that tell you where I'm at as far as my training level? Yeah. Last week too, my ex-husband went back into the hospital. I can't do this anymore. My house for 3 days smells like a rotting body. It was so gross. And I kept telling him, something is going on. You need to follow up with your doctor. And I got yelled at that I was wrong. So, as much as it hurts my heart, he can't come back here. They have to figure something out. I can't do this. Can't do this. My dogs are funny, so you guys all know. So yeah, so I'm exhausted. We interpreted at the DIA the other night. That was great. Um, on Friday night we went. And we went to a little noodle, like a ramen noodle place down in Detroit that I've never been to. Jasmine, it's her husband's favorite, and it's one of Nick's favorite places. It was so good. But um I said, well, how spicy is it? And she's like, well, on a scale from 1 to 5, it's a 3. And I was thinking, that's not too bad. That's medium. I can handle that. They did not use the white girl level of spice when they were saying it's a 3. It was a little intense. Was it horrible? No. No. It was good. It was spicier than I was expecting. But it was so good. I would totally go back. It's called Johnny Noodle King. So if you're in Metro Detroit and you're looking for a ramen place, I would highly suggest it. So we had fun at the DIA. We had a couple of second years with us, and then we had William, who's like a first year. So it was really cool. Um, they laugh because sometimes Bella comes with me and sometimes William comes with me, and they never know which kid to expect. So it's kind of funny. Um, but I think everybody, like all the professors, love that my kids are showing an interest in signing as well, and so that we're a whole family learning it, and we're a whole family getting immersed into the deaf culture and the deaf community, and they love that. So, the other thing is, I know I've mentioned it before that one of my mentors, Joyce, when she got in a car accident, and it wasn't terribly serious, but when they did some X-raying, they saw a spot in her lungs, and so she got diagnosed with stage 3, stage 4 lung cancer, and she's been doing chemo and radiation, and she's actually doing really well. And it looks like she'll have beat it, and that is amazing. Um, on the flip side, one of our cohort members, her dad, um, just got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and they know that it has spread already to his liver and I think a kidney. That's not good. So please keep them in your prayers. He's like a little bit older than me. So that's terrifying, of course. So it has been, so I got everything moved into the new office. Like I said, I have been unpacking. I have 90% of things unpacked. They're not quite where I want them all. Um, but y'all, I love my office. I love that it's so close. I've actually spent more time in my office in the last week than I had probably in the last month at the old office, because it's so easy and it's so convenient. So I'm hoping that the internet will be up in there this week. I have to double check on that. So that's really cool. So the one thing that I've decided to do going forward, and I hope I keep up with it, but we all know, hello ADHD, is that I'm keeping a list of like, okay, so on this day I did this and I stitched this many counts. My issue, and the reason I probably won't, one of the things I may stop doing it is because I don't like counting stitches, and some of my projects are not on Pattern Keeper. And that's frustrating to me because then I have to count the stitches in order to be counting them. But as of yesterday, for last week, starting on Monday, my birthday, and not including today, so in 6 days, I stitched 5,152 stitches. And I think that's pretty darn good considering how busy I am. Actually, I think that's darn amazing. Um, so yeah, so with that said, let's get into it. Let's get into it. What have I been stitching in those 5,152 stitches? I'm so glad you asked. So glad you asked. First up is Stocking Sunday. I did actually work on this. I worked on this a little brief period of time that I woke up after my nap, but before my voicing class. This is my Bucella. I really need to get a really cute project bag. I'm really getting annoyed by this crinkling paper, and I can't take this with me. Like, it's very weird. And I tried to copy the pattern because I like to have a working copy, but the paper, it's like weird. So I don't want to write on this, but when it copied it, because it's white, it's, well, that's weird. It should have copied it all. Because it is, I don't know, but it cuts off my paper chart. Okay. We'll just, like, really and truly. Okay. You see that? So then I still have to have this stupid... Now do you understand my plight? Okay, so anyways, and I keep saying I need to order a project bag for this, but we all know I won't. Because I'm just, that's where I'm at. So anyways, that's where we're now at. I do love this so much. It is so him. So we're starting on the second string of music notes here. This is what we're stitching on now. With that gigantic bow. And the bow, okay, and somebody said, well, why don't you take the bow out? Because there's an English horn in the middle of it with the jingle bells and stuff. And so really the bow has to stay. And I'm fine with that. Surprisingly, there's a part of me that wants to add, so the stripe in there is greens. I think I kind of want to pull some green etoile. I don't mind stitching with etoile. I think etoile stitches essentially the same as some of the fancy flosses, or the really is as same as DMC. But I think a little bit of sparkle. Just like I may want to pull some gold etoile to do the horn, to add some sparkle to the horns, just to kind of highlight them a little bit more. I don't know. So there we are. So his name will go in there. So I do love that. And according to my book, today I counted. I had to count these stitches, y'all. I had to count these stitches. 326 stitches today. It doesn't look like that much, does it? But it really is. Okay. Today I also worked on the Schoolhouse Rock style from Black Ribbon Stitch to Black Ribbon. No, I'm sorry, Denise. As much as I love you, I know you did not design this. Black Needle Society. So close. I love this piece so much, in case you all don't know. I really and truly do. The final drop came, and I got it actually to load up into Pattern Keeper with this, excuse me, with the colors and everything, which makes it so much easier to stitch for me. So I finished the first the grass here, and I started on the school. Let me see if let me show you. Let me see if it will bring up a picture. Okay. So that's it. So right now. So that's how it looks. I know. Knowledge is power up on top. So I finished the numbers. Oops. and I'm stitching the schoolhouse. That's my favoriteest guy ever. I love that episode, that Schoolhouse Rocks episode. I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. I love him so much that I want to now stitch him as a separate ornament. If you know, you know. Love him. I love that. So I do enjoy the stitch. It is going much better, um, much faster, or now that it's on Pattern Keeper. I will definitely have more than enough blue. So if you are interested, and yes, I still need to get to the post office. Y'all, may happen this week. If you would like a piece of blue Ada that I dyed, it is 18 count Ada that I dyed in this. Oh my god, it's blue, but it's like a blue green. That's not. It's very pretty. I think it's pretty down spot on to the called for. Go ahead and use the word blue down below, and we'll draw, and I will set it out. I will. I promise. It will go out eventually. Okay. So then I have my whip goes. My whip go board. Okay, so November got called, which means you, by reason of deduction, you can figure out what December's are because they're the last two blocks on the board. So for November, Modern Folk Embroidery and Jeep Van Gogh got called, which means in December, technically, I have Jeep Van Gogh and my K piece, but I've already finished the K block. So I still have my Octobers to finish up. I have one of November's almost done, which is the Modern Folk Embroidery cell from 2020. Might be 2021. Might be 2021. I have it, I think I'm at like 48%. Oh, I'm at 46.57% done. My goal at the end of the year, I have one more day stitching session that I'm supposed to work on this for my Whip Go Square. But my goal by the end of the year is at 50 to be at 50%. But even with my weird mix up here for whatever reason, my motif still lines up perfectly. So I still need to add in the little buds. And then here's what I'm debating. So the motif that goes in here, to me, looks like a gigantic snowflake. I kind of want to do it in a pale, soft blue. Maybe with a little shimmer in it. I'm thinking that what's left on this side, it looks like these flowers here. So those the little flower things need to be, I kind of want to make them yellow, like dandelions, because that's what they remind me of, is the yellow dandelions. So part of me wants to make them yellow and then do the crystal blue snowflake over here. But I don't know if I'm getting too crazy with my colors. I mean, I would use this same yellow, which would pull it through. But this is too purple. This is almost a blue purple, like a cornflower blue. So I don't necessarily want to use that blue for my snowflake. So I'm open for suggestions. So again, the goal, I have one more day, one more time to stitch on this to add it to my cross off that Whip Go square. But my goal is to make it to 50% this year and then to finish it next year. That's the goal. Dare to dream. Again, it's before the year 2050,000. We're good. We're good. Okay. So the other square that I worked on, one of the other squares that I worked on is Buffet Mat. And Buffet Mat got called for October. I am down to 4 more stitching times before I can cross off that square. Buffet Mat is by Unconventional Cross Stitch. It is a so not me pattern, but you know what? At the same time, like, kind of like it's really cool to watch the details and stuff coming out. So for those of you who are new here, this is what this will look like. I am up here in this corner. Yeah, totally not my thing. So there are a total of 360,000 stitches in this thing. As of right now, I'm at 2.63%. I owe it 4 more stitching time, so I'm hoping to get it to 3%. The fact that I'm proud that something is finally at 3% is hysterical to me. But there we are. So yeah, so I worked mostly down in here. I brought this line down further, and then worked a lot more in here. I've also been trying to go back and fill in the blanks so that they're more, like, I can kind of figure out how many stitches go into a page, because a pattern's like 120,000 pages. You know what I gotta start doing is I need to put a limit. Like, yes, I'll stitch something for you as a gift because I love you and I adore you, and like, it's a gift. That's my love language. But at the same time, I don't love you enough to stitch on the same project for until the year of 2050,000 of our Lord and Savior. I mean, like, there has to be a line of demarcation. You know? Of course, there's always going to be exceptions to that because welcome to life. Life is full of exceptions to the rule. Oh, I did stitch on that too. Okay. On Saturday. You know what Saturday is? Saturday is sorority Saturday. And I love my sorority. And I actually posted it in our group, and everybody's like, ooh, where did you get that pattern? So, I don't know, maybe we should start a stitch along in my sorority. So I'm working on our armorial bearings. At the rate I'm going, it will be done this year because I get into a groove. And even though the lines are all like, yeah, that's a technical term, just so we're all clear. Feel free to use that. It's not copyrighted. It's still very, like, you get into like this, I get into the, like, the zen flow, and I don't want to stop. And so, like, I'm okay with that. I have reached the absolute top of this chart, and you will see that I still have enough spot where I could probably put the Quaker squirrel and the French country squirrel from JBW up there for ornaments. Like, I can just see them there and there and be safe. That's where I'm at. Like, there's not, honestly, there's not that much more black to stitch, because I mean, I just got this quadrant in here. Now, that said, it matches this quadrant, so, you know, it's not like it's not anything. It's still a lot, and then there's a lot to fill in. But I could see this will be, if it goes into 2024, it won't be very long into 2024 that I'm going to need to stitch on a Saturday, at which point then we'll switch to, well, first we're going to do the little Quaker squirrel, quirky Quaker squirrel, the quirky Quaker squirrel. And then, which should be like a start and finish on the same day. And then we'll do, I'll also, I haven't ever stitched for me the French country squirrel from JBW. I always do it as my sorority exchange gift. So, I don't have one, so I would like one. So I'm gonna do that. So on Monday, I stitched Monopoly Monday. I don't know where I'm going to fit it in tomorrow on Monday, but we'll see. But I got all of the green done, which means that realistically, that's where we're at. Okay, that's the first time I've actually pulled it out all like this. That's some good stuff. I'm just going to say I'm kind of impressed with myself. And all I did was, okay, so the green I didn't use the call for. The green was supposed to be 700, and I couldn't find my DMC 700, and I ended up just stitching it in 701. Am I sad about that? No. Would you know that if I didn't tell you that? Probably not. So now there's a boatload and a half of back stitching to do. And I've got to chart out like the treble clef or the bass clef and all of that kind of stuff. So, Lord have mercy. Okay, so on Friday we stitch Festive Friday or Frightful Friday. Mine right now is both. I'm, like I have said before, I'm going to continue to stitch on this piece until it is done. I'm not going to share it right away because for Halloween, my Halloween ficus, my holiday ficus at the office, I'm going to stitch each of these individually as ornaments because they're so freakishly cute and they just bring me joy. It is by Heart and Hand, and I am so grateful to Michelle for passing the stash. So, will I stitch the ornaments separately right away? No. Will they be stitched in the next coming, like, will they be stitched sooner than later? Yes, because one of the deals I made with her is that I was going to pay it forward and pass the stash as well. And while I could pass the stash on another pattern, which I'm sure I will, I do want to keep this one as this is like the Stitcher's Stitch of the Traveling Pants right now. I don't know. So, maybe I will just go ahead and stitch them individually again. They go pretty fast. I think the ghost took me the longest, and I'm not sure why, but that's where we're at. We're down to, I finished the ghost on Friday, and so this Friday I'll start Frankenstein. And I will also stitch on this on Halloween, so on Tuesday. At Tuesday at some point, because I don't necessarily, usually I stitch on Rosie because I do Truck Tuesday, or Truck and Tuesday. Because it's Halloween, I'll start I will likely start the little Frankenstein guy. And then even with the saying underneath it, I think I could probably manage to get them in on the bottom. So I don't know. They don't necessarily have to all match, but whatever. If not, I'll put them on something else because that's the way I roll. Okay, on Wednesday is Wiener Wednesday. It's Wiener Wednesday. And I stitch on a wiener dog project. And right now I'm stitching Turkey Sausage by Plum Street Samplers. I have all of the series. Where they are, I don't know. So the next one I start after Turkey Sausage will be Wienerland because that's in my bag. I just bought Starbucks. when it came out at market last year? I don't know. I don't know. My guess is wherever they are, they're all together. I don't know. Okay, I found out that my center pumpkin is off. I ain't frogging it. I'm not frogging it. We're just going to make it work. It's supposed to have one more stitch around this way. It's supposed to be a slightly fatter pumpkin. Guess what? It's not. But I got this whole motif in here. And that's a lot of stitching. It is deceptive in the amount of stitches that it takes to do that motif. Will it be done by Thanksgiving? It very well may be. I mean, honestly, it very well may be. If I would spend a little bit more time on Wednesdays on it, and then once the frightful my Halloween parade is, I'm gonna make this also my Friday stitch, so then it will get 2 days a week. I don't think it's gonna take me much longer after that. I think it's gonna be done by Thanksgiving? Probably not. Will it be done by the end of the year? Absolutely, it will. It will. Does it crack me up to say Wiener Wednesday? Absolutely it does. And if you're new here, I'm sorry, but it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. Okay. On my Whip Go board is also Jeep Van Gogh. Jeep Van Gogh is up for 10 days, 10 stitching times in December and 10 stitching times in November. I'm stitching a lot of 310. For those of you who are not familiar with Jeep Van Gogh and why I call it Jeep Van Gogh, I'm sure somewhere in the world it has a different name. But it is essentially my Jeep that has been, hold please, put into Starry Night from Van Gogh. Hence, Jeep Van Gogh. I would love to find some other pieces like by other artists through the years that like somebody has mashed in Jeeps in. Like I would love to find the melting clock from Dolly that instead of the clocks it's like Jeep girls like melting. I don't know, it's just weird. I know. We are currently sitting at 3.81%. I know. But I am hopeful. I am hopeful. Between the 2 months, this still has 17 more stitching sessions this year. I am hopeful that we can make it to 5%. The other thing that I still need to do is attach some fabric down here because that's just, it's cringy. I know, it's cringy. Is it going to be big? Depends on your perspective of what is a big project. Maybe it's going to be big. So this is all the way across. I mean, how is that? That's just gorgeous. Gorgeous. So hopefully we will hit over 5%, but 5% is my yearly goal on this. I know. Crazy to think that I'm excited about 5%. Okay. My most designer bags are from Magers, and they come with a Ziploc top. And in there, for me, in my one bag de Magers, Chateau Magers, is, it's called like Brutal Santa. I don't know. I hate the title that the artist gave it. I'm going to be honest. I hate the title. So I call him Mermaid Santa. Mermaid Santa, I did a lot of work in Krynic at, and his stitching, just the stitching, not all the back stitching, because the back stitching won't load into Pattern Keeper. So just the stitching, I'm at 87.23%. Will he be done by Christmas? His stitching will be done. Will his back stitching be done? I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Will it be done before the year 2050,000? Yes. Yes. Okay. So that's where we're at. I so love it. So I put a bunch of Krynic scales in. I am down to just needing to do the little bit of stitching here and then his tail fins. If you're doing this pattern, I had to order the Krynic because and so because I don't have a local LNS, and so I actually switched out the silver Krynic with diamant silver, which I think is fine. The pink that it calls for, I was expecting a bigger spool. It's Krynic 192. I'm a little like, do I have a lot of this Krynic left to do? No, thank God. I only have, according to Pattern Keeper, 95 more stitches to do in this Krynic. But I've used a lot of this spool already, and I didn't like wastefully use it. So just know that in person, he's a lot of shimmer, and it sucks that he doesn't show up that way. He's also on a piece of self-dye. I dyed this Ada myself. Don't ask me for a recipe. I don't know. I threw a bunch of color, like I threw stuff in a pot. Which is why I would probably never make a really good long-term fabric dyer. I'd have a bunch of like limited time only fabric. Because yeah. So, but he's got a boatload. Like he is, like I said, he's 87, just over 87% done. He in general is 6,390 stitches. So, yeah. He's so good. And I really, really hope that the artist comes through and does us a Mrs. Claus to go with him, because I need her in my life. I need her. It's not even a want. I need her. Okay. So the other thing that I worked on is Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. And I have exciting news on my Pandemic. And if you follow me on Instagram, you have already heard my news. So you get to hear it again. But absent, see how this has this one, well, actually it's a double row here, like this line. Absent that, I have reached all the way across. Is that not exciting? Like, look at that. So one more stitching session and I'll have this and I'll start coming down. But what that means is that I have, so according to Pattern Keeper, it's 4 pages across and 5 down. I think I'd know already because, you know. It's 5 across and 4 down. So right now I have the 5 across and I have almost 2 pages down. Almost. Right now I'm sitting at 18.95%. I will be honest, I would really like to get this to at least 20, if not 25% done this year. The only saving grace on this is that, and that's just in the main color, because as you all saw, in case you have not seen it before, I'm filling in the negative space because I'm insane. Because I do crazy shit. And then I drag you along in my crazy stuff, and I make you believe that you too can do crazy stuff and should do crazy stuff. So I'd like to reach at least 20% in the main color, in the beige color, by the end of the year. I think 25 would be pushing it, but that would be great if I could. This too is one of those that when I pull it out and I get going, you get in a groove, and it's a nice easy stitch. What may be the saving grace on some of these getting done, or getting to those, not done, but hitting the goal that I want, is that I am out of classes December 18th. So the flip side to that is, honestly, my business is, like, since moving the office and getting back some things back on track, business is booming, and I'm grateful for that. So the other thing that I am working on and have worked on this week, and will continue to work on, because this is, if you ask me if I only had to pick one project to work on until it was finished, even though, like, it's only, like, I think we're at 54% now. Let me go look. 53.06% on it. It's, if I could only finish one project right now until the end of the year, this would be the project I would focus on. And that's Rosie. And can we just love her? So far, I only had one vote on my video, and that's team No Glass, No Mats. She's 19.5 wide by 9 inches down. So I think I'm going to have to go with a custom frame. But I was looking at custom frames the other day. It's going to be like $50 some for a custom frame if I'm looking at the right places. So if somebody knows and can help out, that's a lot of money for just a frame. I would like something that looks kind of like old reclaimed barn wood. The other option is that maybe I beg and plead to Matt and have him build me a frame. I mean, how hard is it to build a rustic looking frame? I don't know. But I love her so much. I did realize that today I still need to pick up my skein of 814. I need another skein of 3371. And apparently I need a skein of 3776. Because right now I'm using the skein I have from Dennis and Kay's picture of 3376. So, okay. So now let's talk about birthday haul. I mean, besides my jar of pickles, which I do love. They're so good. I also got a gift certificate to Starbucks, which I've already used. Yay. And a gift certificate to Target, which I have not used. But Oreo ate my black dress shoes, and I got called out in court by the judge, she did in chambers, for not wearing dress shoes. I went in my Birkenstocks, and she didn't like that. So, but the dog had eaten my shoes. And I was like, literally, the dog ate my shoes. So I think I'm going to use my gift certificate to go get a new pair of dress shoes. So, I treated myself. Heaven and Earth, for those of you who don't know, had a sale. And I bought Beach Bliss and the Grand Library because I think Bean would really like the Grand Library chart. But I realized that I have to start making her smaller stuff because that's who's getting the periodic table, and she's a poor woman, poor girl. But I also really love the Grand Library, and I have a couple of the other Grand Library, like the Grand Shelves series. Um, I just need to sit down and start them. This is not the year I'm going to start them. I'm really trying to, and next year I may start one of them. I don't know. We'll talk about that later in just a minute. So the other thing is that my dear sweet friend Stephanie sent me a gift certificate to 123 Stitch. And I had also placed an order with 123 Stitch because I had to buy, I'm doing the Dragon Stash Swap or Patterns Kit Swap that Michelle Bendy talked about. And so I bought my, not with my gift certificate, I ordered the chart and the flosses. They are out of the blue that she wants for the fabric, or the called for blue fabric. So I got her the rest of the stuff that she needs to stitch this. And I went ahead and got her the silks because, ooh, yay. And then I bought her, you know, like a snag nabbit, and I bought her the beading needles that she likes, and I also bought her a little new pair of scissors. And I am having my friend at Leopard and Lace Boutique, Tammy, help me make her like a scissor fob and some floss drops with the floss bling on it to match, so that, you know, to round out the package. And then I'll pick her up some candy or something. So then my friend Stephanie sent me a gift card to 123 Stitch, and so I went on to my wish list, which I kind of, now I feel bad because now my person who has me, I was able to knock off several of my wanted charts. So then I did add a couple, but you'll see. So I picked up the official copy. I remember I had a bootleg copy of Summer, and that was bothering me. So I was able to buy Summer and Autumn, which means, yes. So which means technically, and I already have Spring. Technically, the only one of the Celtic ladies that I don't have that I still would like is Winter. I have Noel, which is different than the Winter one. I picked up Animal Alphabet from the Blue Flower. I love this because the animals aren't your typical A is for ant, B is for, you know, I mean, B is for bat, so that's generally what I get. But A is for armadillo. The only thing that could have been better for A is if A was an anteater. But I don't even know how to say some of these. But you know who probably does? Bean. And so, yes, my intention is to stitch this for Bean. She doesn't know about it, although she's sitting across the room there, so she may not know about it. But I love this ever since Pam started stitching it. And I think what Pam is from Just Keep Stitching is doing is like every week when it comes up on her cell, she's stitching a letter with the animal. Like, she's not like going crazy and like, so I think that's a great way to break it down. I mean, there's 26, so that's, and she does a 2-week rotation. So yeah, it's going to take her a year to do it. But I kind of like that idea of like alphabet, like work on an alphabet. And we'll just, starting on January 1st, we'll do A. And then the next week, on, you know, like every 2 weeks, we stitch a letter. I kind of really like that idea. Kind of like that. So I've got to gather up the DMC. The other thing is I really do like the green that it's on, and it's stitched on 40 count. But I already stitched on 32 count pretty regularly now. So 40 count sampler green linen from XJU Design. I did not get the fabric with my gift certificate, so I may need to do that, maybe for Christmas. That would be a good Christmas present. Okay. So then I also picked up Quirky Quaker Bee. The bee is the symbol of my triathlon club, and I thought maybe that would give me an extra push to get back at it on a consistent basis. And then Quirky Quaker Turtle. Turtle is my, so I belong to a group called I Run for Michael on Facebook, and what they do is they pair all like runners with mostly children with disabilities. And so like I have a partner that I've been paired up with for, gosh, Mandy was in elementary school and Mandy's now in college. But her favorite animal is a turtle, and so we are team turtle. What's fun is Mandy has also learned sign language, so sometimes when I have a question, I get Mandy on a video and ask and things like that. So that's kind of fun. So we're team turtle. I picked up Mirabilia luda. I love this when I first saw this. As a kid, I was a Polish dancer. So I wore the big flower crown headband and that stuff. And I thought with some tweaking, she would look like a Polish dancer. Forgive me, I am blanking on her name. She did a conversion where there's wheat in her hand, in her headpiece. She did some color changing. Excuse me. And then she has hands in this woman's design that are like cupping. They're carrying a thing of wheat, which is a very Polish thing. I didn't realize. But my grandmother, even on her headstone, there's wheat. In her casket, there was wheat. That was always what we associated with my grandmother, was wheat. My grandfather is oak leaves. That was, and so when I saw the wheat in her conversion, I had to have her. And so she's writing up her conversion, and that the conversion is the one that I will stitch, not so it won't be exactly like this. So I needed the pattern in order to be able to do that. The other one that I picked up. Okay, so those of you who don't know me really well will not know that I actually hate the song. Like, I love Christmas music. I really do. I love like the old traditional church hymn Christmas music that's sung in Latin. Like, if you had to give me a pick, heck yeah, bring it on. I love singing the Hallelujah chorus, like Carol of the Bells. Like, I love the old, like, I love a lot of the, like, the fun, quirky stuff too, right? But the one song I hate to sing, and I hate people singing it in general, is the 12 Days of Christmas. And I can't imagine wanting to stitch it. And so there's been a couple, every once in a while, there'll be like, there's been like one or two versions of the 12 Days of Christmas in a stitch that I'm like, I'd actually consider stitching it. Which says a lot, because that would rank right up there on my probably least favorite style of things to stitch. And then I don't even know who showed this. I want to say Made by Michelle McGraw showed this. And I went, you gotta be kidding me. I need that pattern and I need it now. And I want to stitch it. I'm 90% sure it was made by Michelle McGraw. She has another one that I want to stitch so bad. That's a Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus with a bunch of other stuff. But I would only, like, the only one I really want to stitch is Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, which is really weird. What I found out is that if I stitch Mr. Claus, I want to stitch Mrs. Claus. I don't necessarily just want to stitch Mr. Claus, except for in a weird, unless he's like riding a snail, which I have that pattern, or seahorse or things like that. But in general, like, I want to stitch the couple. And I don't like Noah's Ark when they only have Noah. Noah had a wife. Her name was Sarah. Put her on the flippin' boat. So there are very few patterns of Noah's Ark that have Mr. and Mrs. Noah. Noah and Sarah. Precious Moments actually had Noah and Sarah. So even though the kids, everybody going, why didn't you do the twins nursery in Noah's Ark? And I was like, first of all, could you get any more cliche? And second of all, because none of the bedding that has Noah's Ark, because trust me, my mother pushed on that one too. And so did some of the aunts. And I was like, none of the bedding sets that come with Noah's Ark have Mr. and Mrs. Noah. And so we're not doing that. But when I tell you, I stopped and I added this immediately to my wish list. And then when I was like, oh, I get to get my pattern, I did. And that is the 12 Northern Days of Christmas. Hello. 8 otters, right? No, 8 raccoons. 8 raccoons. It's 5 otters in rings, like curled up into rings. 5 otters. Hello. Hello. Could we love this anymore? Like, moose leaping. Foxes, they are dancing. There are squirrels piping. I love this so much. It is stitched all in DMC. It is amazing. And they give you the layout where you can make it into a table square. I'm not doing that version. I'm doing what's on the cover, where they're just 4x3, like laid out. See, here's the little table square. I had to have it. I love this. Which is so weird because, again, I don't like the 12 Days of Christmas song. I don't like snow. We've made that abundantly clear. But I love this. I mean, 3 turkeys. Are they not glorious turkeys? Had to have it. Had to have it. It does have some Krynic, of course. I'm never going to escape the Krynic. Now, what's cool is they also tell you who designed this. X's and O's. I've never even heard of X's and O's design, but whatever. Okay, so not only do they give you the DMC, they also give you the anchor, but then they tell you how many skeins you're going to need. Thank you very much. That is very helpful information. Okay. So that's where we're at. I am feeling that caused a little bit of startitis. I'm really trying hard not to start new things. I really want to just focus on pushing and getting things finished. I will say also, that's not it. I have not been doing the 52 card whip pickup. It has been too stressful, and I don't have the brain power right now. So I do apologize that if you are following along with my 52 card whip pickup, I'm behind. So the last week was the Addams Family. I didn't work on that. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a chance. Which, my card. Oh, I almost got my cards. Okay. So then last week was supposed to be my Planet Sal. I didn't work on that either. This week, so like hopefully I'll get back to them. The other thing is Oreo ate my bag that the Zimmerman coverlet was in, which really sucks because I really like that fabric. So that's floating around up here, and I got that loaded into Pattern Keeper, but I have not had a chance to work on it. So this week is the 5 of Diamonds. And for me, that is the Purple Pumpkin, which I really do need to work on, because that's another gift for a friend. But with this week, plus I have to evaluate a bunch of software for the company, for the office and things like that. I don't know. It's going to be everything that I can to even stitch on the days of the weeks that I already earmark as days, like sorority Saturday and things like that. Next Saturday in the afternoon, I'm going with Matt and Nick and the gang, and we're going to Brickfest, Lego Brickfest, Brick World. And then a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine's first husband passed away rather unexpectedly, and she's struggling, so she has asked to go out. And so we are slating Sunday for that. And I just, like I said, I have a trial next week. I have hearings. It's a little bit busy, and I've got a bunch of paperwork to do. So with that said, I'm going to let you go so I can go to bed. It is now 10 o'clock at night. I have to be up at 7. I probably won't even get a chance to sit down and rest until after we come home from interpreting. So likely around 10 o'clock tomorrow night. I'm already tired. The redness is back. I slacked off on putting that gel on. And the redness, actually, it's calmed down quite a bit, but it's still pretty bad. My skin is just, so yeah. I have started back drinking my water, so we're going to consider that step 1. And getting back on track for Ironman. It's baby steps forward. I did register for Bear Lake for next year. And my goal is really and truly to hit the 50K mark, which is like 33 miles on the trail next October, which means I need to get my butt in gear. I see the pulmonologist also on Tuesday. I have client meetings. I have, everything under the sun. So, hopefully I can get some stuff mailed out this week. It's all sitting in a pile. Like, really and truly, it's all sitting in a pile. And the one is just an email that I have to send you. And I just need to remember. I'm trying to think what else I need to tell you. Oh, so I looked over. Bella sent me a picture. It's on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, well, I'm sorry. You should. I'm funny. I'm his Princess Kelly. Oreo was spooning Nigel. So Nigel is the little spoon and Oreo is the big spoon. And everybody's like, oh, that's so cute. I'm like, yeah. It's also a safety thing for Oreo because Oreo is our deaf dog. And that way, if there's sound that he needs to be alerted to, which normally he wouldn't be, when Nigel moves, Orio's going to feed that because literally his arms are around him. And then he knows to wake up and be alert. So apparently this is a fairly typical dog thing. If there's deaf dog thing, if there's other dogs in the house. That is also why deaf dogs tend to be Velcro dogs. So yeah. This Friday I have my deaf blind class. It is also the twins' birthday, like I said. Our deaf blind class is going to the leader dogs. If a puppy happens to come back in my pocket, it's meant to be. It's God's will. You can't go against God's will. So wear big pockets because yeah. So with that said, remember, you're beautiful. You're smart. You're cherished. You're wanted. You're loved. And you matter. That I'm sending you so much love. All the loves. If you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. And I will talk to you there. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.